Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the Everton Club Call. This is your opportunity to get in touch with us by giving us a call. If you're on Patreon, the link is there for you. Just press the link and that will get you through to the studio to speak to us on anything you want regarding, obviously, Everton. Frank Lampard has been charged by the FA over his comments after the Merseyside derby. He's been charged with improper conduct for comments following the Merseyside derby. Obviously, he called them all cheats because that's exactly what they are. Massive, massive cheats.
He implied bias.
Or, he attacked the integrity of the referee and maybe the commentator on the day.
I thought he wasn't your mate.
He's not my mate, but that's why it's even better that I can do good impressions of him. Alison, just get up, will you? Just get up, will you, lads? It's not like you've twisted your ankle or anything, is it?
He apologised for that, did he? But then went on to say other stuff.
Yeah, he did.
Fair
He did.
play.
So, if you're watching and you want to get in touch with us, get in touch with us. Please do.
Do it.
Do it. Do it right now. Do it right now. Yeah, so
Yeah.
the FA charged him. Bit of a joke, if you ask me.
Yeah. No, but I totally agree. I agree. But they were gonna, weren't they?
Yeah.
They were gonna because obviously what he said, the minute he says something, they will feel like it is it is ridiculous. You've seen what's gone on, and you can't say anything to them. They weren't charged when they didn't give us the penalty against City, and they had to phone us and apologise.
This is what makes me laugh about the whole thing, about the referees and everything. The referees make mistakes week in, week out. And all right, they can send nice little letters over apologising and stuff, but nobody gets punished. It's I don't understand how you can have a set of people who are professional at their job, but they can literally get away with anything. The only other profession it actually happens in is being a policeman, where you can actually just get away with anything, allegedly. They never get stood down for games very often now.
No.
Nothing happens to them. We've had them where 3 days later they're on like, or they'll put them on the VAR, or there's no punishment for referees for being bad. And yet a manager or a player can come out and speak his mind and is punished for it. Shouldn't we in football be, without it going over the top, shouldn't we be encouraging dialogue? I think so. I personally think that a manager should be able to come out after the game and speak his mind to a point. Obviously, you don't get personal with someone. You don't call someone, a knobhead or anything. You just come out and say, I think the referee in that game was appalling, and there should be no comeback on that at all, because
Can't say anything to them.
you can't, and yet they can get away with everything and anything. It's a joke.
Yeah, it is a joke. It's too much one way. That's the problem. It's too much one way. Other managers say things that don't seem to anything happen to them. Even the ones who get the benefit of the doubt, and most of them. So,
well, let me say this then, right? If you're not allowed to criticise a manager after the game, why is a manager allowed to come out and basically call someone a cheat after the game? Why is that allowed? Why aren't managers, or say a player after the game, why aren't they punished for calling another professional a cheat?
Oh, okay.
After the game.
So say like,
well, aren't you doing the same thing, aren't you?
say like Anthony Gordon diving.
Let's just say Anthony Gordon gets pushed over in the penalty box.
Yeah, and they said he
And
dived.
afterwards, he come out and basically say it wasn't, it's a dive or whatever, or you're getting a reputation, or doing that too easy. Why don't they get punished for that? Because they're just doing the same thing. They're questioning the integrity of a player. So why are they allowed to get away with that?
You know what referees are like, mate. They can do whatever they want. They don't answer to anybody other than themselves. They don't say anything. They don't have to speak after the game. And like you said, now they've even stopped being stood down. They used to be stood down. There's nothing. There's never any comeback on it. And they're making decisions that, not just for Everton, by the way, making decisions. I've just seen one there, Forest Bournemouth, that looked to me like a penalty. They're making these errors, and anyone can make a mistake. Anyone can not see something, you know. But they just seem to be able to do whatever, and the minute it's questioned, it's like, you know, how dare you? You're questioning my integrity. Well, I'll tell you what, mate. Start giving the same decisions to both teams then. Start penalties that you're giving at one end, give it the other. Fouls you're giving at one end, give it the other. You know, we've been on the receiving end of some horrific decisions this season, like really bad. And people can go, everyone gets them. They do. But Everton have had an unbelievable amount. You know, there's 4 penalties off the top of my head I can think of, just without even having to think back too far. The Spurs penalty we got, which was taken off us, which never happens. The handball against Man City, the handball at Southampton, and the penalty at Anfield. And that's just off the top of my head. We should have had the penalty on Sunday on Damari Gray as well, but we won't. So you don't go on about it when you win. You just go, you know, could have had one. But the minute you dare say something back, it's like, how dare you even say a word about us? It's unbelievable for an organisation that regularly makes mistakes. You're not ever allowed to say a word.
Right, we've got John. First call of the night is John. Are you there, John?
I am here. Can you hear me?
Oh, we can. Where are you calling from, John?
St. Louis, United continuous state of America.
There you go.
But how's it going?
Is it still there? Is America still there? Just double checking.
I haven't been outside today yet, so not totally sure, but yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Of course.
I'll have to get outside and find out.
Of course, St. Louis is the home of the big arch where...
That's right.
Where famously... I'm trying to think. Nelly said that he was going to get naked in it, didn't he? He said it was getting hot in here, so let's take off all our clothes.
Yes. Well, yeah, exactly.
I mean, I know. I know my American history, John. I know my American history.
Ped, you are as cosmopolitan as it gets.
That's it.
I mean, you are an international man of renown.
There you go. The city which had its American football team stolen off it by Kroenke. There you go. See, I'm all down. I know my St. Louis history, like anybody.
St. Louis figures prominently in Mark Twain's books. Huckleberry Finn, Tom Sawyer. All that, yeah.
I've never watched it. I've never watched the. They haven't made any Marvel films of any of those books yet, so I haven't. I'm not up on my Mark Twain, but
that's true. That's true. Your palate is a little bit limited these days.
Yeah, that's it. Unless they make a 8-part series on Netflix or Amazon or Apple TV, then it means nothing to me, mate.
Exactly. Hey, real quick before we get into Everton, are you guys excited, or have you seen the new Top Gun yet?
No, Top Gun's not out here yet.
No. It's not?
No, it's not. Is it out in America?
Mm-hmm. Oh, you know what? I just keep seeing it. I haven't. No, I mean, I'm totally not sure, but I just keep seeing things for it all the time, so I just kind of assumed it was. I don't really go to the movies anymore. I kind of wait for it to whatever. But
anyway. I'm excited. In fact, somebody a couple of weeks ago, when it was Baz's 50th birthday, and we were asking for videos, somebody sent me a message saying they were in San Diego, and I said, "Well, can you go to the house from Top Gun and do a video outside the house from the film, because it's just outside San Diego?" And he was like, "Oh yeah," and I didn't think any more of it. And he sent us a video with the message outside the house, and Ned edited it out. Yeah. Ned took the birthday message and edited the bit with the house out.
Ned.
I didn't even
explain yourself.
I don't know, because to him it would have just been a house with no. I mean, Ned thinks Tom Cruise is just a weird science guy. He doesn't know. This is
right. Ned's also 13 years old.
He is 13 years of old. You are absolutely right. But
doesn't understand anything from.
No, I am looking forward to it. I know Astro is really looking forward to it. That's like
Astro. Me and Astro and a couple other lads are on a WhatsApp chat, and that's a big topic of conversation in our WhatsApp group.
That's like Astro's wet dream. That.
Oh yeah. He literally. It's like hey, real quick, St. Louis tie-in. John Hamm, the actor from St. Louis, in the new Top Gun. So.
Is he in the new? Oh, tremendous! He's a very underused actor, John Hamm.
He is. He should be more stuff, and he's hilarious, by the way.
Yeah,
too.
He's had like little good cameos, hasn't he? He was in Baby Driver. He was in that, and he was a good little role, but it wasn't like a full flushed out role. And I'll tell you what else he had.
He was in Knocked Up.
I think
Didn't
he
have
was.
like a little cameo in one of those movies?
Yeah, and I'll
like,
tell you
where
what else.
He
He had a little...
he was the bad boyfriend. He was great.
And I tell you what else. Yeah, no, not Knocked Up. It was Dad, what's the Baz? What's the film where they go to Vegas? Where they get married?
The Hangover. Oh no,
Bridesmaids.
Oh,
Bridesmaids.
Bridesmaids. Yes.
And also,
That's
it.
he was in, and this was like a little tiny cameo. He was in the A-Team film right at the end. He was in it for like a minute. There you go. Anyway, the St. Louis history has been fully covered.
Yeah. Okay.
Go on.
Now everybody's up to speed. So, I tell you what, man. Sunday, well, just everything about this team is just draining me. Like I don't know about you guys. I mean, because you guys get to go to the games, right? So I think that's a different feeling.
Yeah.
It's almost kind of like the players have a different attitude towards it because they're actually in the game and they actually feel like, okay, maybe they're not as nervous because they feel like I can affect it. I think as a fan going to a game, I think you're sort of in that middle level where it's like, yeah, I can't go out and play, but I can't affect it by being there and screaming and yelling and singing and whatever. And then there's us who can't go to the games, and it's just you just feel completely helpless. Yeah. So when you wake up, for us, it's in the mornings. When you wake up in the morning, like I can't even describe how I felt. Like lately, it's been like real nerves, like as in but dark doom. Like there's a light at the end of the tunnel and it's a train coming. Yeah. Sunday was a little different though because we've just had such a good history against Chelsea. So it was nervous, but it was almost kind of like, I don't know. I don't know how to describe it, but I'm just curious how you guys felt when you got up on Sunday. And then the other thing is I'm tired of hearing about cop-out behavior. More of that.
No,
we'll of what we did Sunday. More of that.
We'll come on to the cop-out behaviour because I really do want to make a point of that. But I just want to ask Baz how he felt on Sunday morning.
Incredibly ill.
Yeah.
And have been ill Saturday, ill Sunday, ill Monday.
Not Everton related, or was it Everton flu?
It wasn't Everton flu. It was, just ill.
The odd thing is, right, and this is genuine, Baz got ill over the weekend, and it's like let's say it's a muscular gastro kind of thing, and I have basically got the same illness but just in a lesser way, and it's like our illnesses have synced together. When women talk about when they work in the same office, me and Baz are now starting. So yes,
it's a
did it start right after Burnley scored 2 goals in the last couple minutes, or no?
You know what, it might have been but that's where they share your emotions at. Your stomach, aren't they? And I've had
because I'm sure all of our immune systems are deficient at this point because we're just being drained.
I just look to the 23rd of May and I just can't wait, and I don't know whether it might not be a very good day to come into the studio on that day. It might be an incredible day, but I cannot wait till there is no football just to breathe. What a horrible season this has been.
Can I go on? They're taking their entire set to Paris. So we might get a few days quiet. They're taking the whole set to Paris, and they're going to do. But this is what's hilarious, right?
I'll be quiet, mate.
This is hilarious. This is hilarious. I'll tell you. I've booked a weekend away, and the following week I'm away. But they've said they're doing. This is what made me laugh, and they're doing a watch along in Paris.
That's so perfect.
They're going to Paris, and they're taking the set, and they're doing a watch along. But that's up to them.
I was just going to say how many people are going to the game in Paris, and that'll be their first Liverpool game ever.
Oh, I tell you what, right? I'm not having a dig at anyone here, but there will be thousands who will go, and I know this for a fact because when they played in Madrid when they won it, thousands went, and I know because I had family members there, and these family members have never, ever been to a Liverpool game in their lives. Don't even like football. But just went because it's a party. So there will be a mass exit because Paris is very easy to get to. I don't know where any of them will stay because it's ridiculously expensive. I imagine there'll be loads of campsites on the edge, but that's up to them. I am getting away that weekend. I don't care what happens. I'm going away. But I was. Do you know what? Sunday was weird because obviously being 5 points behind, I wasn't massively sort of nervous about it. I was just more like obviously. I think what was interesting was because of all the other... Focused
is how I felt.
Yeah.
Like a nervous kind of, but a focus though. Like, okay, we got to do this.
I think what was interesting was because of all the other stuff going on with the bus coming in and everything. I was more interested to see how that all went and how and whether Evertonians would embrace it. And I was more interested to see that, so it was sort of taking my mind off the game. The game will take care of itself, and as you just said, when you're playing someone like Chelsea, the game will take care of itself. Your team has to show up, and luckily we did. But I was so focused on all those other parts that I never really give it too much of a build-up in my own head. And I think it'll be worse when we play maybe Palace and Brentford, because they're games where people will go, we are expected to win these games.
Watford away is going to be the most nervous I probably have ever been, because we should win that game, but with our away form and with just it will be hard. But going back to your second comment about what is and what isn't done and what is cop-out behaviour and all this, we have to. And I hope Sunday was like the breaking point or like the benchmark. We have to get away from this shit of what gets said. Actually, Paul Machin from Redmen TV put a tweet out, and it was a really good tweet because he said he put a picture up or some videos up of all the Evertonians, and he said something like, this looks like cop-out behaviour, or Evertonians have finally realised that going the match and enjoying it is a good thing, or something to that to those words. And he was absolutely right, because for too long, all of us as fans, and I'm included in that, and we go the game and we just sit down and we go through the highs and lows of the game as it is, and then we go home. Whereas Sunday felt like a real celebration of actually being an Evertonian. And this is where when you get to go to like cup finals, or you get to go and watch Everton abroad, or you've been to like a pre-season game where lots of Evertonians are there, it's like a festival being an Evertonian. You feel like you're in a very much like a safe place because you're surrounded by people. So people will go back and say, like, the semi-final in 2009 was amazing because we won, and there was thousands of Evertonians down at Wembley, and it was a great day because we were all together. You're in your little tribe, aren't you? And I think that's what Sunday felt like. It felt like we were in our little tribe, and it was brilliant to see all the colour, to see fans really enjoying themselves. Being outside the ground, an hour before kick-off, took me back to being in the 80s. It was rotten. There was bottles and cans and all kinds all over the floor, and the pyro stuff. It felt like being a kid in the 80s when the city couldn't. And what also felt like? It felt like this is us against the world.
Exactly.
It felt like a siege mentality. And let me just say this, and again, perspective is an interesting thing because you guys are inside the bubble, right? And most Evertonians are, Merseysiders, Scousers, from the north, things, et cetera. As an American looking from the outside, this is what gets us excited, like this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like this is what is
tailgates and all that.
That's when we think of passion and English football and blah blah blah. It's like it's not people faithfully going to the game every week and being miserable for 90 minutes. Like, and I know that's not.
No, and that's what it is, though.
It's not who we. But that's not who we are all the time. But it's like I will tell you, and I don't know if you saw this on Twitter. I kind of retweeted it on my Toffee shop account. But there was a guy who's a pretty senior coach. He's like a technical director for like Eastern Pennsylvania in the U.S. and not an Everton fan, right? And he put out a tweet and he said, "I hope all non-soccer." He's talking to an American audience. "I hope all non-soccer fans, I wish they could have all seen that game, and I wish they could have all seen after the game the passion and the pure emotion from Evertonians." He's like, "That's what this is all about." And he's like, "What an amazing experience."
Yeah.
And I was kind of moved because I'm like, this is a guy who's not a blue, right? But I mean, like that. You were talking about building fans in this country and elsewhere. It's like that's what's going to do it.
That's what catches the imagination.
That's what makes us. This is what makes us different, I think.
Well, I heard Robbie Earle say it, didn't he? He said like Chelsea had no chance today because they were taking on.
That's what I put that graphic.
40,000 and 11 men today, and he's absolutely right.
That was my graphic.
What's happened, sadly, in the time since Seaton came in, all seater stadiums at the Premier League, is we got, as football fans, we've been conditioned, and as new fans have come in, we've all been conditioned And we keep on getting told, like, no, you can't do that. No, you can't do that. And it's come to the point where, and I remember a few years ago seeing it sort of seep in where people were standing up at the games and being told to sit down because it was like, you're not supposed to stand up in the game. So there was this conditioning that came in of football fans.
I agree.
And what's happened in the last maybe, in the last maybe 3 or 4 years is that as people have started to stop enjoying football, go into the game, and as football has gone more, the prices have gone up, and as people travel more and see football in different places, football fans are starting to ask themselves why are they doing it, I think. So you're seeing better atmospheres everywhere now. We talked the other day about the Nottingham Forest fans and how amazing they've been. Football fans are starting to see what they want is the return of standing. And this is why I've actively been saying in the last 2 years that Everton must bring standing to the Gladys Street. Forget the new stadium. You can't put a price on atmosphere, and the atmospheres have been turned up since the Gladys Street started just standing up the entire game, and that's been in Frank Lampard's time. And I still encourage Everton, and I don't care what anybody says. And there's too many people out there who go, they won't do that because we're moving in 2 years. I do not care. I do not care. You cannot put a price on the atmosphere. I do not care when we're moving. You cannot put a price on that. And for me, that's what should happen. But also, fans are starting to fans in the club need to be more aligned, and think we're seeing certain things of that. But we've got to get away from this idea of that Liverpool fans invented the atmosphere. The only reason we see them having atmospheres is because they have more big games. That's why they have more atmospheres. They have more big games. On Sunday was a real big game for us, and we brought the atmosphere. And that's, if you want to say what cop-out behaviour is having a big game every 3 days. Unfortunately for Everton, it's not having big games. So number one, as a football club, we have to get back to having big games, all the time. And that means going back to being a football club.
At the right end of the table.
Yeah, but that goes back to being a football club and not, a football club that carries the name of charity. And it means doing things properly, and you will get big games, and you can celebrate them being a football fan. But for too long, we've just been a little bit too conservative in our ways, and you go to the match, you sit down, and you actually look upon people who are happy going to the matches, the weird ones, which I've certainly been guilty of. I've got no problem in saying that. So yeah, it was an amazing day. The next thing to do is replicate it, and the next thing after to do that is try and make it more of a norm. Listen, do I expect that to be every game? No. But
But it could be some level of that. Yeah. It doesn't have to be that intense, because not every game is going to be that intense next year. I mean, home against, Bournemouth next year, in
Let's
August
hope. Let's hope.
Going to be that.
Touch wood.
Yeah, that's a good point. Well, let me just a couple things, and I will let you go. Because I've been on a while. Number one, I think the thing for people to remember is you're not going to the theater. Yeah. You're going to a fucking football match.
But we've been conditioned that it is the theater.
You are part of it. You are part of the pageant. You are part of the spectacle. You're part of it. You're not a spectator. You're part of it. Yeah. And if you're not going to be part of it, don't go. Yeah. Stay home. Give your ticket to somebody else. Watch it on TV. It's fine watching on TV. But if you're not going to be a part of it, don't go. So, and then the last thing, this is, if you want to discuss this later, whatever. I don't think Southampton's safe.
Yeah,
no. Like, I don't know if you guys have looked at this, but they're on 40. They could legitimately lose every game. Yeah. The rest of the season, and so I don't think Southampton's out of it.
I said this today, John. I said
did you?
They
on the Premier League show, which will be available tomorrow.
I haven't seen it yet.
No, I said it. They've got Brentford away on Saturday. They then got Liverpool at home, and they finish with Leicester away.
Yeah, to me, that very well could be 3 losses. Easily. You got to even tell yourself, theoretically, if
3 wins, you're safe.
We and Leeds and Burnley all get 9 points the rest of the season. I could see them being and not until the last day of the year, people going wow, Southampton's in this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. All right.
Absolutely.
Hey, boys, fantastic. Really appreciate your patience and time.
That was great.
Great convo.
Great St. Louis chat.
Toffee.
See you, mate.
Blues.
One thing I would say just off the back of that, what Sunday does show is anyone who said what difference will it make if we welcome the coach in, that is proven.
I said, I've said this before. I'm not taking credit for everything. Oh, Melissa Reddy, what a surprise! Thought you'd have a red top on. I said after Newcastle away that Everton can't do this without the fans. They wouldn't stay up without the fans. And the fans have been fantastic at Goodison, don't get me wrong. Sunday was another level. Manchester United was incredible. The noise. Leicester, when we were 1 down in the 90th minute, the fans were still with them, brilliant. When I said it at the time, I got some people going, it shouldn't be down to us. It's up to them to make us sing. Other people were like, you're absolutely right. I'm with you. We do need. It is our club. It's our club. If we got relegated, half of these players would walk out the door and not give us a second thought. So we have to do everything we are. And you're right, the fans. Those people last week who said, this is what we're going to do. We're going to welcome the coach in. We're going to get to Goodison. We're going to get the smoke, bombs going, and we're going to be there and all that. And you're seeing other cop-out behaviour and look like knobheads and blah, blah, blah. Didn't look like knobheads to me. Looked incredible. Looked incredible. And the team responded.
And also, right, that what happened on Sunday, not the match, but everything else, sent a message to, like John just said there, it sent a message to everyone that we are still here. We are a football club. We do exist. We do have a brilliant fan base, and it felt like it just woke up a little bit.
Have we been? And we do it. I do it. We all do it. But have we been guilty of just thinking that everyone looks at Everton the same way we do?
Yes, I've said this lots of times, Baz.
And therefore, it was almost good to remind those other people that we are a big club. Our fans are mad. We do have fanatical supporters. We're a huge football club in terms of
our fan base,
history and fan base. We're not a huge football team. We're far from it. And don't misquote me on that, because we aren't. We're not a team that's going for trophies. We're not a team that plays in the Champions League. But we're still a huge football institution of English football, with a fanatical fan base, with fans whose lives are this football club. But maybe for too long, we've expected everybody to look at us the way we look at ourselves. And maybe that's what other people have underestimated Everton when they've said they're in free fall, they're doing this, they're doing that. The fans have actually turned around and gone, we're not going without a fight. And when you put that shirt on, you will run for us, because look at what we're doing for you. When that's together, I've seen Liverpool win games they had no right to win. No right to win. But because of the fans and they're all together, and somehow it's helped them. Other teams have done it. And on Sunday, Everton faced the European and world champions, who had a better away record than Liverpool and Manchester City. Coming into that, they conceded 10 goals, I think, away from home all season. They'd only not scored on about 3 occasions, I think, something like that. And we're not an amazing team in amazing form. And yet we beat them 1-0. Yes, we needed an unbelievable set of saves from Pickford, but we also missed good opportunities to put the game.
What I would say about Sunday was, and the atmosphere, it does show. Like, we've had good atmospheres, but that was just ridiculous. There was next level. But what it says is to people that when there's too much of this naysayer stuff of like, you can't do that, or why are we doing that? If someone wants to go to the match and do something, let them do it. You don't have to. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. Like when people walked out against Arsenal, if you didn't want to do it, then don't have a go at people who don't do it. And it was the same who do it. Sorry, it was the same on Sunday. Although I'm not seeing people saying anything now. No. But it's like, let people do it and don't get on there's too much, and it's a culture that's come in, obviously, with social media of like too many people, and we've all seen this Ricky Gervais video where it's the guitar lessons one. For too long, we had too many people saying, "Oh, the atmosphere, it's down to the fan, it's down to the players to get the atmosphere." Well, it's not, is it? It's not. And number two, the other thing was this idea that you couldn't have an organised, manufactured atmosphere. It has to be organised. It has to be partly manufactured. You have to tell people where to be and at what time to create something, or what to bring to the stadium, or this kind of thing. And what I would say is, people like from the fans forum and fan groups and coaches and all the other people who helped organise it, and then all the people who helped push it as well, who spread the word, who got all those people, because let's get it right. Outside Goodison wasn't just a load of lids wearing Montrix tops. There was grown men older men, people with their daughters, people with their sons, people with their grandkids outside the game, showing what it meant to them outside the ground. You know, for that coach to turn up. It wasn't just a load of lads with smoke bombs. It was fans. It was generations and generations of fans, and this club means everything to them, everything. And that is absolutely what you're right there with Everton. This club means so much to so many people. It's our lives. You said to me, you asked me the other week what it meant to be an Evertonian, because it was like, I don't expect to win anything. You were like, well, what does it mean? I was like, well, it means absolutely everything. It's unexplainable what it means to you as a fan, and that's not just me. That's everybody feels like that. This team are just absolutely under the skin. I went to see my mum last week. People just don't understand. My mum was like, don't be getting upset if you get relegated. I was like, Mum, what? Like, my mum thinks I'm going to turn to crack if Everton go down. Genuinely, she thinks, like, honestly.
Your mum? I think you're going to turn to crack if Everton go down.
She's like,
it's just your mum.
You don't understand. That's my mum, but people don't understand what this means to us, and it means everything to all of us. And I think we showed that on Sunday. And I think, well done to all those people, fans forum, coaches, fans groups,
Barry
whoever,
Williams,
anyone who was there. There's loads of them. No one names name check. Baz. No one names name check.
Katie,
all those people who were there. Everyone and the fans forum actually showed what it's actually. Why it can be work, why it can spread.
We have to say that the fans forum has got better. We have to say that
it's got good people in it. Yeah, because what they've done is, and I've got no problem in saying this, it's got rid of all the kiss asses off it. It's got rid of the people who became the top dog.
I think the problem with some people is they got on that.
Yeah.
And then when you're on it and you're in it,
you're talking about a set of people who approved the badge, the Fisher Price badge.
But anyway, as I was saying,
it's got people now. I'm saying it's got people now on it.
I'm saying people on it now who want to make a difference, and the football club, fair play to them, are working with them and all of that. But there's also the external influences from other people who aren't maybe on that or whatever, who really got to work with getting everyone going. You know, seeing from Hans coach, he was saying, and people were perpetuating it. And we saw the result of it on Sunday, which was incredible. And I fully expect it to be like that against Brentford and like that.
And I know they're doing stuff. They're doing stuff for the away games. They're trying to do stuff for the away games. They're trying to get fans to get it into the ground and into the stands early while the players are warming up to show what it means. That's the point now. It's our football club. It means everything to us. And I said this the other day. It reminds me in '94. You come so close to losing something you love, and it does galvanise you, and it gets rid of that attitude of like, I said, we've all been conditioned to walk into a stadium, sit in our seat like it's the theatre. It's not the theatre. And this is why I absolutely encourage Everton, and I know they won't, but I have to say it. I know they won't, but what I do know is that watch him be standing next to my 69-year-old father on the game on Sunday while there's blue smoke literally not choking us, but, engulfing us. And while he's standing there for the entire game, while, throwing everything at it, thinking, I'd really, really love a bar in front of me just to lean on right now. Do you know what I mean? I'd really, really like that. And the thing about it is, for me, there's absolutely no reason why we can't do something like that. Everton will give me a million reasons why we can't do it. But for me, as the fan, I'm like, standing in the Gladys Street has just made the Gladys Street the place I want to be and the place other people want to be. It's why the Gladys Street was one of the most fearsome places to stand in the 80s. It was a place everyone wanted to be, and for too long we've all sat there, and lads who sit in GT4 who stand up get abuse, and when Kane and the lads from the original sat in, I think it was GT7 or GT8, and they did their bit while they were getting told to sit down on stewards. Well, know what happened on Saturday? We all stood up. No one can say a word to us. When there's all smoke bombs going off, no one can say anything. And also at the end of the game, when those GS4 fellas come over and go, could you please leave now? You can go, do us a favour, mate. No.
Go away.
We're not going anywhere because we are loving this. And Everton did the right thing on Sunday because they actually just turned a blind eye to everything that was going on.
Got it.
And you've got to, because otherwise...
And people who make the decisions will be the ones who lose the jobs if they don't, if Everton go down, because Everton will cut half the staff. So you all want to be pulling in the same direction on Sunday, people were, and that's why. And to be honest, the football club feels, with the fans and with the manager and with the players, it feels unified right now. Because it has to be. It has to be. Simply, we went you're hanging off a cliff.
Yeah.
And someone's offering, you grab whatever you can.
And anyone in the media who doesn't understand, anyone who does a hit piece on Frank Lampard, anyone who does a hit piece on Anthony Gordon, or anyone who does a hit piece on Richarlison throwing the flare, they have no idea. They have no idea about this football club. They have no idea. It's what makes us slightly different to other people in our eyes, is that we don't have this support network of people in the media looking after us. Everything's always the bad of Everton Football Club. And okay, when Rafa Benitez, it made it even worse because it did drive a huge wedge through the club, and it separated the club from the fans, where we're starting to rebuild that, and we're starting to have a football club, whether people like it or not, that we are starting to get the togetherness, and that shows the power of the fans with the manager and players who look like they care.
Chris Burns says, is there a better send-off for the Gladys Street than letting people stand again? Obviously, there's 2 years left at Goodison Park.
As I said, I know it won't happen, but I can't sit here and say, oh no, it can't happen. I have to say every time I get an opportunity, there's absolutely zero reason why Everton shouldn't have standing in the Gladys Street. There's zero reason for me. The entire Gladys Street should have safe standing seats, because actually there's zero difference apart from a bar. And Everton might say to me, oh, we can't have, what's the point? I see a point, because I don't think you can put a value on atmosphere. I really don't. And I don't want there being a time, no matter what happens this season, I don't want there being a time where Evertonians go into the Gladys Street and sit down. And I know, and I've said it again as well, I know a lot of people are like, oh, I want to sit down. Well, you know what, right? As I just said, I've got my dad was sitting in my sister's seat. He's 69. He stood. In fact, I think my dad started coming the game again because he wants to stand up. He doesn't want to sit down. He stopped going the game when the seats got put in the Gladys seats. Yeah, and my sister next to me, who's now has to walk with a cane and can't even hear out of the ear which is next to me because she's gone deaf in it, is loving it as well. She has to stand up the entire game, but she loves it. So for me, I don't think there'll be a lot of people who say, I don't really want to stand up, but I'm sorry, but this is football. This is where we are. Right, let's get Degsy on. We're talking passion, let's get Degsy on.
The most passion.
Hi, guys.
All right, Degs, you all right, mate?
Yeah, not so bad yourselves, guys.
Yeah.
Now, unfortunately, Ped, you stole my thunder before.
Doesn't matter, go on, you get your point in.
What it is, I mean, everybody knows I've supported this club for a long time now. And I just want to thank everybody that was involved with organising Sunday. It was an amazing show of support. And it reminded me of when I was a teenager and you went, and the Gladys Street was a nightmare place to be. And outside Goodison, it was just incredible. It was amazing. And I just, from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys. I don't know any of you, but you made me proud of my club again.
To be fair, Degs, when you were a teenager, it was only in the 90s. That's what the club's done to you. That's what the club's done to
you. Yeah, but you know what I mean? It was just... I don't think... I know Munich was a massive night. But that on Sunday was again, it was another step. It was unbelievable, you know. And to hear all four sides...
Yeah.
You know, every single side, every single person, even where I was in the park end, I had everybody up.
To be fair,
we were all cracking on with it, like, and you had to.
To be fair, Degs, I mean, you know, the Bayern Munich game was 37 years ago now, wasn't it? And this was what my point was the other day about Goodison Park and leaving Goodison Park is, you know, you can go back to the Bayern Munich game, but that was 37 years ago. You know, I wasn't old enough to go to the Bayern Munich game.
I was there.
You know, Baz was, because you know he's a different class. You know what I mean? No. But the point
I travelled all the way back from Germany.
But that's it, isn't it? That was
I travelled from Germany to watch Everton.
That was 37 years ago, and in your eyes, that's the only thing in the 37 years that has come close to replicating that night. And I think that's what we're talking about, aren't we?
Occasions, even the winning in Wembley and in Rotterdam.
Yeah.
But there's nothing like yesterday, Sunday.
But that's the point, isn't it? It's like we're not. Listen, I wasn't at Rotterdam, and
the cup final '95,
and there was games.
Cup final was incredible.
There was games that there was. The thing about '95 is though, I couldn't stand here hand on heart and tell you, like the atmosphere was amazing because I just can't remember it.
I cried.
No, but I can't remember it. I just can't remember
it.
It was good. But do you know what I remember from 95? Peter Johnson, I was in the front row behind the goal, right behind the Rideout goal. And Johnson walked past me and I thanked him.
There you go.
And I'll never...
So that shows you how emotional it was for thanking him.
Yeah.
He was still a good guy then, though.
Yeah, he was.
He was still a good guy.
He was still all
But
right.
I think about that now and I think, oh my God.
But exactly,
anyway,
that's what I'm saying. But that's what my point was, Degs, about Goodison Park and the fact that this generation, the generation now who go in the game, the late teens, early 20s, they've had nothing. They've had absolutely nothing. And, that showed the other day of what Goodison Park can be. There's a generation, Ned's generation, which have had no big games, nothing to really... They haven't had good times. They've had nothing. And what that showed you the other day was that Everton fans, if we all pull in the same direction, can have good experiences, and it has to start with the fans, doesn't it? It has to start with the fans saying to the club, we expect more. We expect more, and we'll show you how much more we expect by coming to the ground every game and giving it, and then going, right, you match us. And I think for a long time we've sat on our hands and we've allowed just an emptiness to creep into the ground. So it's like you walk in, you sit down.
I have been saying that for a while, haven't I?
But it's been hard, isn't it? It's hard to know. Because the other thing about Evertonians, and we find this quite a lot, is there is a feel sometimes of like, well, no one appointed you to be in charge of the fans. And it is good that a lot of those people who have been appointed to be in charge of the fans forum and stuff, and all the different, have got together and gone, we're doing something about this. And it's the follow me attitude, isn't it? It's the follow me. And they've done it brilliantly, and that has to be replicated. Not only does it have to be replicated by the fans, but the players have to build on that now. Otherwise, it doesn't mean anything. Yeah, do you know what I mean?
I mean, it's true. I mean, and you know what? I've actually experienced real ultra fans in Schalke, and I've been to Italy to watch in Italy. I really think it would be a great idea if we can actually align ourselves with that type of support from now on. The organised support, because we've proved we can do it once. Why can't we just do it over and 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 over? Why can't we do it? The banners looked amazing from the park end. The Gladys Street looked unbelievable the way it was dressed, and it was dressed by the supporters, not by the club. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just think if we can transform that welcome to coaches coming along the Dock Road.
Yeah, well, that's it. We take
that.
But that's the other thing.
Hitting that new stadium with a wall, a blue wall, which is what we're going to have.
Yeah. Well, again, it's it comes that when talking about again, people talking about Goodison, that can be taken with us because we're the fans. We're the people who made that, or the people who made it. Sorry, I'm not taking any credit for it. We, as a fan base, we made that, and the fan base will go into the new ground, and it's a case of not sitting there when we do move, going, look what we're losing. All you're saying is we're not losing anything. We're taking everything with us.
Yeah,
we're leaving.
I think everybody should take something a little bit.
I'm taking my chair.
Scrape.
I'm taking my chair.
No, but what I was going to say is everybody should take a little something that you can scrape a bit of your own seat off.
Yeah, I'm taking my chair.
Take it with you.
Yeah.
And put it on your new seat.
Okay.
When you go there,
mine would probably be footprints then, because that's all it's on my seat.
But anyway, and I'd just like to add another first for Everton. The first flying dog.
There you go. There's not. I've never seen that before, Degs. I've never seen a flying dog.
Pigs might fly, but we've got was it a Dutch dog or something that actually flew.
There you go.
But anyway, thank you, lads.
No worries, Degs. Nice one, mate.
From the bottom of my heart, thank you for all you guys and what you did.
See you in a bit. Ta-ra, mate.
Bye bye.
I thought he was gonna cry again. Fair play to him.
Very emotional.
Very.
At least he's taking his grandson to the Brentford game, isn't he? And we were talking and saying hopefully we're still in the fight when he goes there. And what Everton have done at the weekend is made sure that at the moment we're still in the fight. I mean, we've got 2 big away games coming up. 2 brilliant calls there. Make sure if you want to get your call in, get over Patreon. Put your name in the chat. Put your name in the chat because that's for you.
Ned doesn't like strangers.
Ned.
He's been taught very young stranger danger.
fuming.
He's not very good at the Green Cross Code, but stranger danger, oddly, he's very, very good at. I don't know why.
No. Glenn Watson says, Baz only question. Okay. What would be the most fitting way to leave Goodison Park? Well, with a trophy and still being in the Premier League. Wouldn't it? That would be the most fitting way, wouldn't it?
I am, as I said,
Or a successful
that last
season.
game at Goodison, I'm 100% taking the little, getting the seat, putting her under my arm. Might stick it up my top like the fella at the ball. I'd be like, what are you going to do with this chair? All you're going to do is you're going to offer this chair to me for about 300 quid, aren't you, Everton? That's all you're going to do. So I am taking that chair.
Yeah.
That's my chair. I paid for that chair many times over.
Yeah. And more this
It's
year,
been-
despite the relegation.
I was going to say my
Points.
seat's been there for years, but it hasn't because I did once jump up and down on it so much that it broke.
Well,
And I had to get in
classic
touch with
you.
Christine.
That
and-
was only when we got a draw with Hull or something.
yeah, that probably was.
EFC Graham says there's hardly any club that would sell out home and away with the lack of success we've had over the last 30 years. That's true. That's true. And that's why when you do try to quantify how mad our fans are, people don't take that into consideration. You say, like, look at the away fans, the lunatics. Absolute loons.
Well, as I said,
Go up and down. We've won one away game and sell out everywhere.
our fans, I am not going to sit here and say our fans are better than anyone else's
No,
fans.
no.
They are.
We are what we are. But we are.
It's not, to us as a fan base, it's a culture. It's a culture. It's not necessarily, like, it's not a pastime. It's not something you can forget about when Monday comes. It's all week. It's why, to be fair,
It's not exactly comfortable, is it?
it's why social media is the way it is, because people don't ever switch off from Everton. I love all these posts when people go, "Oh, Everton are playing. Just it's Sunday. Just go out." It's like, no. It's like when we have friendlies in the summer. I see people going, worrying about a friendly. Just go out. It's Sunday. It's sunny. It's like, no, mate. You know what? I'm going to sit down. I'm going to watch Everton play an absolute nothing friendly. I'm going to get worried about the game. I'm not. No, but you do though. You sit there and go.
You get worried about the game.
But you do. You sit. If you ever watched the friendly and gone, I don't want us to win this game.
Never.
Yeah, exactly. We
Mate,
sat here when the bleeding Florida Cup was, and I had a party.
It was amazing.
It was the best.
Mate, I was in last summer, we were in Prestat.
Yeah.
We were in Prestat, and then we went to Conway, me, missus and Zach, and we sat on the beach in Conway watching Everton versus Blackburn on a feed. John-Philippe Gbamin scored, celebrating. It was a friendly. It didn't mean anything. Rafa Benitez was stood on line. It's made it even worse.
Last year we had that.
Last year we had
that behind closed doors game, didn't we?
No, that's what I mean.
And Finch Farm, and we were lucky. We are lucky that I was watching it was a feed, and I got to watch it, and I was putting the updates, and people were like losing their minds, wanting to watch the game. Where's the feed? And we had people DMing me going, "You're a knobhead for not sharing this and all." Like properly getting angry.
It was a media feed. End of.
I know, but they were getting angry that they
can't share it.
But they were getting angry because they couldn't watch Everton
Everton
in a behind closed doors.
Everton should just put it out. I don't know. I know.
That's our level of our fans. It's not.
Yeah.
They don't switch off
Our
from it.
fans love it.
You got fans who don't go on holiday.
I mean, there's two great ones here. There's two great ones. Tom Murphy, stateside Toffee here. Everton playing Arsenal in Baltimore. Maryland in July. Anyone coming? Well, they're not. It hasn't been confirmed yet. But
if they are coming, I've got a boss idea. I have got a boss idea for the channel. We get Umar Nias, right? We take him to Baltimore with us, and we just drive around with a big antenna going, Umar coming. If you've watched The Wire, you'll get that. Okay. I reckon that would be brilliant.
Right, that's one.
And I'm not taking you.
You
haven't got a passport.
You couldn't go to Baltimore. You wouldn't survive.
I've got it on this black. You're far.
Who's going to do our thumbnails?
Yeah. But he takes 3 weeks. What do you think about this? Should I make that slightly bluer?
Lynn says
my
husband brought his street end seat with us to Spain. It's incredible.
Fair enough. Oh, he must have.
No, I
thought he'd just gone on holiday. And he took
mean, that'd be a bit weird carrying his suitcase, opens it in his Gladys Street, seats in it or something.
He sells his ticket on StubHub and someone turns up and they're like, what's with this seat?
Like, sorry, mate. Everton Clip says Wigan away pre-season, pissed, and I loved it. You'll have to wait a sec. Let me just read a couple of these.
I'm just getting warm.
Tom says any idea when the new kit's getting revealed? No, but obviously Ozzy was there today, hoping it's not white socks again. Yeah, it better be blue socks. White socks.
We know something about the kit launch, the kit shoot today, but we're not allowed to reveal it.
Stop winding
We
people
do.
up. Paul Nealon says, legends for having me in yesterday. I won't leave it as long next time. Good lad. Bain, he's not happy with the FA. Proud of Lampard sticking up for his club. How would the possibility of Chelsea losing their Premier League membership licence affect the relegation situation? That's come out today, hasn't it?
I think they should be relegated.
It's come out today that they might be relegated. It won't happen. Of course it won't happen. It's money.
And they're all Tories.
Yeah. There you go. Tom says ref should be sacked, but sadly it proves the point that the Premier League is corrupt.
It is.
There you go.
There is. Right, we've got Astro, I think. Astro, yep. Are you there, my friend?
I am here.
Woohoo.
No, with an echo.
There you go.
How are you, mate?
I tell you what, I've been walking the whole time you guys have been talking. And, wow, I've almost got 2 miles in. You guys. I got to tell you something. I had to come outside to get away from my workspace because I have to belt out a fucking blues, baby. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That is what I have been asking for since August. I mean, it's honest to God, that's the Terror Dome. In case anybody needs like a Webster's Pictionary definition of what the Terror Dome is, that's what it is.
That's it.
More of that, please. Turn it up. I'm about to tell you something, right? My buddy, who's a stateside Evertonian, he's like, mate, we may not win much. He said, but nobody has more fun than us. He said, I couldn't tell whether that was Beirut or Liverpool Saturday night. He said, it was insane. He said, and then all those people, all that smoke. He said, the next thing you know, you got a crowd surfing dog. He said, I'm welcoming our new canine overlord.
That's
he
it.
said, for one. He's like, and then I go out for a bevy after the match. I see a dude I know who supports Southampton. I wait till he goes in the bathroom, and I bust in and scream, Everton, clap, clap. We never shine so brightly. And old boy pissed on himself. And he's like, we may not be going for the quadruple. He said, but by God, we have more fun. He said, because it means.
Well, you might have more fun. I'm not sure about that, Nick.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, when you got lemons, you make sweet tasting lemonade. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But in all honesty, that's what I've been asking for, and that's this silly article I wrote got posted on the official site today, and it's perfect because Everton is the supporters. It's not a place. It's not a player. It's not a single game. It's y'all. It's all of us, no matter where we are. And I think that we proved that one of us is more than 40, 50 of anybody else. And we got to get crunk. Same for Brentford, okay? Same for Palace. We got to just get in there and absolutely blow it up.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I've been waiting on. That's what I've been talking about. And I have never been prouder to call myself an Evertonian than I was this weekend.
Nick,
that was heavy.
You made me laugh there because when you said it's y'all, it reminded me of do you know in Talladega Nights when he gets the tiger and the U put on the bonnet?
Y'all.
Sorry, that's just like a very. That's a very,
right.
very.
Yeah.
Sorry. Also, just while you were talking there, Ned was just over our shoulders, doing things with chocolate fingers that was really distracting
because it's ours. And
it's
just
very distracting. So
his.
Sorry.
Okay.
So he's distracting us from you
because he told me that.
No, it was. It was just everything came together perfectly on Sunday for that, and I like it. You know what? Like it doesn't. You know, it's not hardship, is it? It was an enjoyable day, especially when you win a game of football.
You know, I heard something in one of the previous calls, and by the way, great calls today. And I hate following Degsy because he's just so good. But the atmosphere was not manufactured. Okay, it wasn't. It was organized. It was organic, and it was organized, and it was genuine. That's not manufactured.
Yeah.
That's not cop-out behavior. That's I want to stay in the Premier League, baby, and I ain't afraid to show it kind of behavior.
Yeah.
And that's what we got to do. Okay, it's hard to fight when you're sitting down. You got to be up on your feet. Okay, and that's how we have to do it. I want to hear the Park End scream, "What's our name?" And I want to hear the Glotted Street ring back, Everton. Just one side. What's our name? Everton.
I'm not being funny. You'd be hard pressed to get the Parkland to do anything, mate. They're too busy eating all the prawn sandwiches.
They do sing.
No, they don't. They sit there like John Blaine and just, decide what's best for the world.
Doesn't Ned sit in the park?
Yeah, Ned sits wherever someone else is sitting. No, you're right, be boss. No, there are things that you do think sometimes, like that Everton fans would never do, like the one where like the announcer will do the first name of the player and then I don't think our fan base would ever do that, but you never know. You never know. You've got to like create the culture, haven't you? And then what it is you don't force the culture on them, which is manufactured. You get the fans to do that themselves, and then you start, but as a club, then you start helping that. And I think that's what the club has been good at recently, is like, if the fans have got an idea, back them up. Don't get in the way. Let them do it and then support them, or just don't get in the way of them. If Evertonians want to bring smoke bombs into the ground to create an atmosphere, don't have people all kinds of searching them or getting police in there or whatever.
And all the fans
alone.
Don't get in the way. If you don't like it, just scroll past it. Just leave it. Don't
scroll past it.
Yeah.
Are you thinking Twitter is now the real world?
Metaphorically as well, do the same kind of thing of just go, I don't like that, but that's fine. Let them get on with it. It doesn't need. There's too many people who have got to have an opinion on what someone else wants to do. Just leave them. Yeah. It's the same. You see it. You see it with things Reeves. You see it with things Astro said. You see it with things lots of other Blues say. People have always got to feel like they've got to say something, and then you're seeing it with when this was kind of germinating. This plan of go meet the coach. You're seeing naysayers and stuff. Just if you don't like it, just keep your mouth shut. You don't have to do it.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I'll tell you this, right? In this digital age, right, where everybody has this fear of missing out. Okay, anybody who didn't go greet that coach and saw that atmosphere and saw that intensity and saw that energy, they're going to want to be there for that next time. You got to make people realize you're missing out. This is the ship to get on. Okay, you got to want to be part of it. And I think the positivity is infectious. Confidence is infectious. All right, it is a lot harder to unify and bring people together than it is to be divisive. So ignore the naysayers, okay, and get behind this team. Because if we keep doing what we're doing, these players are going to do what they have to do. I honestly believe that.
Yeah, absolutely. Just quick mention for someone in the comments. Adam Galloway, please delete that comment. That's probably the worst comment I've ever seen in my life. If you do not delete it, I will ban you from my channel. Baz will have to will bless me on that. You've been warned.
In Payton?
No, on YouTube. Yeah, it's just it was a good day. It was a good day, Nick, and it's good. Your piece has been on the website, so make sure it's on the Everton official website. Check that out.
Crazy.
You've earned it.
You know what it is. It's my tribute to my Everton, and my Everton is you and Ned. And Ped.
Ned's not your Everton. Ned's not your Everton. Ned only discovered Everton when he came in here and found he could get hot chicks by supporting Everton.
And our chocolate fingers.
He's eating our chocolate fingers as well, and our Jaffa cakes. Yeah. So
that reminds me, you guys are due for another drop shipment of snacks.
It makes it sound like the Hunger Games, like it's going to come in going ding, ding, ding. Right. Shouldn't really mention the Hunger Games after what I did last week on one of the shows.
Let's move on.
Can't really say that in a public sphere what happened, but there you go.
Let's move on. So we've just got to keep fighting that, haven't we? If we do it, we give ourselves a chance. Yeah. And then we can all breathe in a couple of weeks' time when it's all over.
Absolutely. And we can have better and bolder conversations once the summer comes and safety is assured.
Yeah, absolutely.
Someone called you Ted Lastro in the comments. I thought that was brilliant.
Ted Lastro.
I thought that was brilliant.
Ted Lastro.
I tell you what, right? That's one of the best ones I've been called.
Let me ask you a question, Nick. Let me ask you a question. Hypothetically, if Everton are playing in Baltimore, are you going to be there?
You know, mate, there's nowhere else I would want to be. It just comes down to timing.
Yeah. You could be. I mean, by then, I imagine Elon Musk will have given you a call to get to the space station, surely.
Well, I am always on standby.
I believe this. I know this.
I've been on the waiting list for about 12 years. So NASA has my contact info. They just don't call me back.
Well, don't go streaking then and cause trouble.
No. Nobody wants to see that. That's just cruel.
Well,
I wouldn't even do that to a gang of blind cops.
Well,
Hurt.
you poked them in the eye. Anyway, Nick, thanks.
Man, Nick.
Top man. Speak to you later.
Guys. You guys keep up the boss work and up the Toffees.
Woo.
See you later,
mate. Ted Astro.
Ted
Astro.
Well said, Ted Astro there. Castle of Memories says, well said, Astro. Lynn said, yeah, we took early retirement to Spain. Pet, he was moved over in front of you when they put the disabled seating in. When you film from the street and we see our nephew. Sunday was brilliant. There you go.
Still love the chair.
Absolutely awesome. Simon, I think it was Simon, said he was in the Park End. He once got a ticket, Simon Jones once got a ticket in the Park End, and I sang and got looked at as if I was insane.
I remember I used to have a season ticket in the top balcony, and honest to God, if you made a comment that was slightly wrong, you got a tut.
Yeah.
It was like...
Football Matters says, be honest, do you guys think you deserve to go down? Because Simon Jordan says you do. Why would we deserve to go down? I think Burnley deserve to go down.
Whoever goes down deserves to go down.
Simon Jordan has spent weeks telling everyone Everton deserve to stay up. It's whatever TalkSport tell him to do, he says. So I wouldn't, even though I quite like a lot of the stuff he says, his opinions and stuff, he is literally just towing the line with them of right, get people wound up by saying the opposite now. Daniel O'Connor says, Deggs is such a legend. I actually look forward to hearing him every time you do the club call. And the all-American blues positivity. It's like absorbing hope through your eyes and ears. Yeah, it's great. Georgie thinks we need to buy a set-piece taker. Yeah. Stuart Thompson says, I can't remember a day like Sunday with so much euphoria than feeling drained. Not unless Gale was involved. Wink. Fair play to you. Georgie says, yeah. First time I've witnessed Goodison where we all stood up for 90 minutes, even when the Goodison exercise came on the tannoy.
I think one of the things I was worried about when Lampard came in was that we'd go back to that, slow build up from the back, passing sideways, backwards kind of thing. And I think, if we carry on, sort of next season with some more sort of direct, attacking football, I think we can keep that passion. But I think it's really difficult as a fan to turn up at the game and to try and sort of keep that, that sort of energy and momentum when you're just seeing people just going sideways and backwards.
Yeah.
That's really tough. So I don't know. Next season, I don't know what you think, but and maybe it changes if we hopefully don't go down. But I think we just need to just be sort of attacking. The excitement for me comes from seeing us play forward and seeing people run up the field and are we actually going to get a goal as opposed to constantly sort of trying to switch it around all the time.
The intensity, isn't it? That's what I think. I don't think it necessarily. I mean, matters how you play as such. I think it's just the intensity of how you play. I think you can play. I don't think the football at the moment is like the most attractive on the eye as such when we have the ball. But when we don't have the ball, because everybody is going after it. There was a clip at the weekend of Damari Gray in like the 88th minute or something, chasing down a Chelsea player and winning a throw-in, and the crowd just went absolutely ballistic. It was like it lifted again. It was like. And I think it is about the intensity of how we play. And I think Everton's best teams or successful teams, whichever you want to look at, have always played with an intensity that got the fans on side. And I don't, I heard someone mention over the weekend saying this is actually the Everton way. It doesn't matter how you play, passing, long ball, whatever you do. It just has to be played with an intensity that gets the crowd involved. Because we said it a lot of time when Martinez was here, and we obviously got 70 plus points and we got fifth and stuff. Large parts of that season, it was quite boring. You go into games and you're watching the centre back pass the ball back to each other. It was hard to build up that kind of the atmosphere. You sit back in your seat and you're just relaxed, and that's not really the Everton way. The Everton way is high intensity football where players are getting stuck in, and I think we're seeing that at the moment at least, and it's helping generate those atmospheres.
Yeah, absolutely. And for me, Martinez, that was one of the most depressing days. I was as an Everton fan, there's lots of depressing days on that. But that was one of the most depressing days of my life when he got appointed. And I thought, geez, this is like, how can we bring him on? And from that point forward, for me, that's when sort of, I guess, not saying my passion for club, but I don't know, I lost some of that because I think the style of play changed too much. Everything just went sort of downhill from there. So I blame Bobby Brown's shoes as part of the mess. But I'm hoping Lampard will sort of continue to be impressed with, how he's come in and actually learned quite quickly. And I think, the team around him have helped him, I think, sort of do that. Because I guess, he's not overly experienced, people will say, but, he's got a great team around him. I'm just hoping next year that he just carries on with that and we'll get some players in that are in that sort of style of play. It'd be interesting to see who he brings in and, that sort of supports that. And, I sort of looking forward to it. I think I felt quite negative over the last few weeks about staying up, but actually that win at the weekend was massive. I think that just changed things for me. So onwards and upwards, hopefully.
I think, like you were saying there, and Ped's just said it as well, it is important, no matter what he does, that he continues with that intensity. He can vary it. You look at Man City are too much one way for me. I think Liverpool have a good balance in that. They play nice footy, but they're also direct as well. I think Evertonians, and I can only speak for me, but it feels like Evertonians do like that intensity and do like snapping into tackles, like crosses, like shots. You can still have a really good side playing that way, and still knocking it out from the back. Not every time, because I think you can overplay that. But I think if he can get a mix, and hopefully, and this is the one thing when people do criticise Lampard and say he's tactically naive or he's this, I actually think he's the opposite. I actually think he's looked at, and it might be his coaching staff, it's never just one man, don't forget, but they've looked at what was going on. And then since that Crystal Palace defeat, it's changed. That was almost like the final straw for him of, we actually can't do this, we need to do it a different way. And it's no coincidence that since that Palace defeat, performances have been much better. Results away haven't really improved, so we've got these next two games. But saying that, we should have got a draw at least at West Ham. We should have got a draw at least at Burnley. Individual errors cost us those two games. Liverpool, we did well for an hour in terms of containment. So now we go to Leicester and Watford and we have to get something at those places. And I think if we're compact and we work hard, we will do. But he has to really build on the way we are now. And I think if he does that and puts better players, more athletic players into it, I think the fans will love it. And I think he will have more success that way than trying to go back to 800 passes and passing it out from the back slowly, because I think that's where you're right. I've never been so bored going to Goodison than Martinez's last two seasons. So boring. On my phone, it was just pass, side to side, nothing, no pace about us. And we had Romelu Lukaku in the side, and we finished 11th. So I hope he keeps the intensity, and I hope that's the way he goes forward. And I think if he does that, he'll get the best out of everything. I think he'll squeeze everything out of everyone.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see who he picks, to stay. I mean, he's obviously made some early calls, I think, on people. As you can probably tell from some of my comments I've posted, I'm not a big fan of Michael Keane, and I think he sussed him out quite quickly. But I looked at the squad, and I know you did a great show about who would stay and go. And when I was thinking back to sort of how Lampard, my view around how I sort of expected him to play in the passing and that kind of thing, I sort of feared for people like Doucouré, because I thought maybe he doesn't fit in because he's more that explosive, pacey kind of person. His passing's not the best at all, is it? So it'd be interesting to see how he, and obviously he'll be limited by what he can do because of the finances and stuff like that. But it will be quite interesting to see who he actually moves on and keeps. But
absolutely,
as long as Michael Keane's won the first out the door.
Oh, absolutely. Well, according to reports, David Moyes wants him, which to me is the oddest fit ever. But there you go. If West Ham
want him, they can have a favour for us.
Maybe. Yeah.
Just feels sorry for us.
Still got the love. Yeah,
you can have
him.
Maybe.
Cheers, Carl.
Thanks for your
call, mate.
Thanks for your call, mate.
Guys.
See you later.
Take care. Ta-ra, pal. I actually thought Carl was Alistair McGowan at first. I thought I was going to say hi. So. Stateside.
An impression of Alistair, not of Carl.
Not Carl.
Yeah.
This is dead interesting.
Go on.
Down the bank says stateside Evertonian, born in Liverpool but moved to Baltimore aged 5.
Yeah.
Lived there until 2008. can't see a coach of footballers pull up in downtown Baltimore and not turn right back around.
That's what we heard.
He said, I love my city. Where's it gone? He said, love my city, but it's a nightmare.
I've seen The Wire. Listen, if anyone's watched The Wire, and I know it's in the early 2000s, but The Wire does not give a great depiction of Baltimore. And I know you could have like a show based in Liverpool would be very similar in certain parts of Liverpool, but that show doesn't do that city any favours whatsoever.
No.
It's not it's a big city that is like but you wouldn't go there, would you? Who would like? No one's going. Oh, Baltimore's on my list. You know, you think of places like Chicago or whatever, not all. You've never even been to America.
I've heard a lot of
Shut up.
about it.
I don't know.
Why is he through Orlando?
I don't know why he's throwing Orlando in. He just throws random things in because he thinks we're going to take him to Orlando. So I just can't imagine any. I think it will be. I've just seen Gary Ward asking what Operation Goodison Park is. I think it'll be Operation Baltimore Park, and it'll be in and out and down to Orlando.
No one will be there. Some Blues will go, but it'll be in and out. And Everton are in and out of there. So if it comes off, so
if it comes off, it's not confirmed yet.
No.
But
it might be to do with one of those things. Yeah.
But Evertonians will love it though. A lot of Blues thrive on that kind of thing, don't they? They'll be like, I want to go to Baltimore because that's where the Wire was.
There you go.
You know, and like they've been to
get in and get out
like,
before dark.
When they went to like Ukraine and when they went to like Croatia and when they went people love a challenge of going to places where you're supposed not to go. You know,
it's mad, isn't it? It is mad. Adam, I don't. You seem to be arguing with people in the comments over stuff, but the thing is, mate, just don't bring politics up.
Yeah.
That's that simple thing. You're an Evertonian, sound.
Yeah.
No, it's boss, you're a Blue. And you come up from South to every home game, your season ticket holder. Outstanding.
Brilliant.
Absolutely outstanding. No one's going to... I don't get involved in any of it, mate. Don't bring politics into it, or just ignore people if they do.
Well, don't bring your politics
into it. Don't bring politics into it. It's football. It's nothing to do with politics. It's football.
It is if you're a Tory, though.
No, it's not. Listen, that's nothing to do with Toffee TV. That's just Ped's opinion. I'm saying to you now, just don't bring politics into it. It's about football. That's what we're here for. Sure, there's lots of other things you can go on and talk about politics. Down the bank says it's massively condensed, loads of homicide, and it's lovely before the sun goes down. That's Baltimore.
Why has it got loads of vampires?
It's loads of homicides once the sun goes down.
Like, is there like a ticking clock where it's just like, if you're not indoors by this time, it's just like, you'll be shot.
There you go. It is what it is. It is what it is.
People from Baltimore are not selling Baltimore. That's all I'm...
All I got told last night was, don't even think about it.
Why are they going there then? Don't go there. Go to Florida or San Francisco. Nice places. New York.
Washington.
Chicago.
Atlanta,
Houston.
Georgia.
Houston. Yeah. You know, nice places. Denver. Playing at altitude. Seattle.
Somewhere where we can fly in. New York's the best. We fly in and it's just like close. It's good. Interesting. Go there.
Miami.
Gray Leeds
like
says...
but not slapping people.
No. I was watching Reacher. Been watching Reacher.
It's Boss Reacher, isn't it?
But Will Smith just watched Reacher and then replayed the fella.
In what?
Replayed the fella's comment. In Reacher. So the police chief. Then he rips him and he goes, take your wife's name out. You don't say nothing. So all Will Smith's done is, that's a line.
Amazon. I've watched Amazon.
Full Amazon Prime.
By the way, the fella in Reacher.
He's amazing.
How?
I haven't finished this, so don't spoil it.
No, but how? Like he's just huge.
He's huge. The chief.
I was really surprised when.
Woman cop's amazing.
Have you got as far as when?
No.
Okay.
I've got far when he's in the shower with her.
Okay.
But that's what
I was dead surprised she went topless in it.
I know. That was incredible. Grace says, I remember the Fiorentina match in the Europa League. Atmosphere was amazing. There was a massive buzz about the place. I always remember someone with a massive drum in the Gladys, like we were going to war. We need more of this all of the time. The acoustics in Goodison are amazing, and that noise from being able to bang your feet in the upper Gladys Street is unparalleled. Do it in the upper Bullens as well, mate. I'm always doing that.
Foot through the ceiling.
Yeah, that's the only thing, isn't it? That's the only thing. You do think, hang on, these wooden floors, these have been in for ages.
It's a fire hazard.
But it's going to be interesting when we get to thing, isn't it? When we get to Bramley Moor being able to thingy. Elbow 1878 says, I'm scared of Baltimore. Down the bank says, vampires with pistols after dark.
They're the worst ones.
The
Like
dog.
didn't Blade had a big gun?
Says go to Everton
Blade?
should be going to Washington DC.
Yeah, they should do.
Shoot the orifice says Seattle, Washington.
Yeah, let's go to Washington.
Dude, that's Simon says,
White House down.
great shower scene that.
That's
in
rubbish,
Reach.
White
It
House
was
down.
quite good, to be fair.
Dingo's better than that. The other one, what's the other one called?
With Gerard
Yeah, what's that one called? That's better. That one.
Butler saves
The White House. That's what it's called, isn't it? That's got one of the best opening scenes of a film ever. That when they attack the White House. That's absolutely amazing. That scene.
Chris says, I genuinely hope they put wooden floor in Bramley Moor. They won't, of course, but it's nice to dream. Wanderlust said, I was thinking DC doesn't actually need to be crossover, but Batman and Constantine.
And they've got a new stadium. I mean, we should have played DC when Rooney went there.
Yeah.
You know, Everton always forward thinking, of course.
But there, aren't we? Or Chicago. Go somewhere. Go somewhere. Just stay away from Baltimore.
Stay away from Baltimore.
It's mad.
Umar and
It's mad.
all the lads on
It is.
on the corner.
It is mad, isn't it? It's mad. But I think, again, there is obviously... There's other things to think of first before we get there.
I just love the Everton. I just don't think it'd be nice if Everton went somewhere. They were doing like a community reach out program. I just don't think that's going to happen in Baltimore.
Damien says my mate is Baltimore in FBI and homicide. I mean,
we've got
even those names though, those names just make you go,
yeah.
I could probably miss
I could
that
probably
one.
miss that one. Yeah.
Give us the other one. Give us a good one. Where are you? That's what everyone do when they get off the bus there.
What? Oh, by the way, Ned
Where
called it
are you?
before. He said, "Are we going to Baltimore?" Like he thought it was in
He
India.
thought it was in the Curry Mile. No, he thought it was the Curry Mile in Manchester.
Balti Spice.
I really hope the mics didn't pick that joke.
He
up.
wouldn't have picked it
No,
up.
I really hope they did.
Because people would have been embarrassed. Not
Embarrassed
offended,
for the channel.
Embarrassed.
For the channel.
Down the bank says I'm struggling to figure out what stadium in Baltimore they play at. Maybe the Ravens.
Isn't it the M&T Stadium? Isn't that the big stadium? The M&T Bank Stadium. Well known, very famous.
Just you were looking before.
Should be called the Echo.
Umar coming. He says.
Umar coming. See?
It's all
the ass with
it's
us.
out there, isn't it? The ass will surely be somewhere by then. Honestly. Matt C says, will there be a standing area at Bramley Moor? Yes,
Make it bigger though.
there will. Needs to be bigger, but yes, there will. There's got to be. But yeah, there is plans for it, but it should be bigger, definitely. Gary says, I grew up around DC and I used to go to the Orioles games. Baltimore is a charm city. Ped Grey Lead said, off topic, but isn't the rumours of a DC Marvel crossover being worked on?
No, never in the history of the world will that ever happen. Not
There
a
you go.
chance.
You're asked.
There's not a chance.
been given.
DC have just been. Do you know who's just bought DC? The Discovery Channel.
Have they?
Yeah, honestly, Discovery Channel just bought Warner Brothers.
Wow.
There's all these.
I still reckon we all keep tweeting Elon Musk to buy Everton. Him or the fella.
You can't though.
Or Radcliffe.
I tweeted Radcliffe before, and loads of people had to go at me going, "He's a terrible human." I was like, "All billionaires are terrible humans. Find me a good billionaire, and I'll find you Bruce Wayne."
There you go.
You know what? If Bruce Wayne was available to buy Everton, I'm all in for that. But I don't think it's going to happen. Billionaires, by being billionaires, are terrible people. You can't be a good billionaire. It's just not out there. You're not out there.
Definitely.
It's not happening. And even if you are good, they make things up about you, like Bill Gates.
Ben,
Thomas Wayne killed what guy?
According to
According to what?
that fella.
What fella? What fella? You need to back things up with facts.
Falcone said that his dad,
Yeah.
Thomas Wayne, got someone killed.
Oh, yeah.
Falcone covered up for him.
Why does he keep doing that? Why does he keep doing that?
Ben James says Orlando looks like a boss atmosphere for them. Yeah, Orlando's boss. The atmosphere is incredible. Steve Gray says 8 to 9 points needed to survive. Correct. Down the bank says Toxteth in 1983 and Baltimore are parallels. Yeah. Ian says go to Bootle instead. And Ian Clark says Nias played for Burton against Wickham the other day.
You did.
As Ped's seen the 51st state, we all have, haven't we?
The one that's based in Liverpool.
Yeah. Surely that one with Samuel L.
Absolutely horrendous. It makes out like like the whole city is just like Liverpool mad.
Yeah.
And also, you ever watch a film where if it's somewhere you know, and then they cut the scenes together, and you're like, you can't get to that road by driving down that road.
The Clay Shack says I've read some of the Ricci books, and he's a huge bloke. Don't know how Tom Cruise played.
Yeah, he was huge.
Is it Daniel Ritson? This fella.
He's English, isn't he? Yeah.
This fella who plays him now is huge.
Oh, no, the fella who wrote the book, sorry, he's English.
No, an only child is, but he was
Lee Child.
Daniel Ritson, I think his name.
Yeah, he was Aquaman in Smallville.
There you go. He's huge.
The woman in it is from Smallville as well. And she was in she was Scotty Doesn't Know. She was the girl in Scotty Doesn't Know. That was it, Fiona from Euro Trip, which is one of the best films ever in the history in the world, and not enough people have seen Euro Trip. It's amazing.
Invincible Baby says if we go down, what'll go on with the stadium? It's still getting built, mate. Just ploughing ahead. As we speak. No, I won't eat an Orange Club if we survive the drop.
They'll be down there helping them plough.
Yeah. Why is there any... No. Condiments down there as well as there. Elon Musk would turn Bramley Moore Dock into an NFT, says Craig Ronald.
I don't think you can, because I think NFT is, by virtue of it, what it is a digital thing that doesn't really exist. So I'm not sure about that.
Maybe. William Hartnett says, boys...
William Hartnett sounds like a guy who writes Midsummer Murders, doesn't he? William Hartnett.
Boys, Baltimore is a perfect analogy for the state of Everton, a once great city that's been run into the ground with mismanagement and poor leadership. The only thing we're both clinging to is the docks.
Yeah, well, the docks is obviously in the second series, isn't it? And I remember my dad watching that and going, that's exactly what Liverpool docks was like, the stuff that happens. And there's a fella in it, he's a dick, and he has a duck, and he gets it drunk, and the duck dies. And the duck dies. It's dead sad. What's his name? Ziggy, the prick.
All right.
You've never watched The Wire. It's the greatest programme ever made.
Matt says, do we want Leicester to go through tomorrow? Yes. Absolutely we do. Want it to be extra time and penalties and them to get through. Tire them out. Castle of Memory says the lady who wrote Harry Potter sounds like a nice billionaire.
Yeah, she's a nice billionaire. She's not, is she? She's not, is she? She's not, is she? Have you heard some of her opinions? Cuckoo.
Oh, yeah.
How many coffees have I had today?
You've had 46 coffees here. This is like the time you smashed the couch up. That's what it feels like.
Ned's fault.
The Clay Shack's gone with the old Happy Star Wars Day.
It is, May the 4th. And there was an Obi-Wan trailer.
Ned would not have got that. Gray Lee says the Discovery Channel is huge.
It is. It owns all the rights to the Olympics.
Huge. Gray Lee says Baltimore sounds like a city-sized Kenny. Steve Kelly says Everton's first signing next season should be the Klopp juice. If they're allowed to get away with it, then F it.
Full on the Klopp juice.
It's just become asthmatic. That's the best way to be.
Yeah.
It's the Man City team that's going to go and tonk Real Madrid.
It looks like...
I hope it's like 5-0 to City.
It's in the bench. Have you how many kids are on the bench?
I know, but you've still got like...
No John Stones.
Sterling and Gundogan and people like that. Well, there you go, then they'll be sound. Travis says, why not DC? It's like 35 minutes away from Baltimore and far more convenient.
I imagine it's because someone's paying for the game, aren't they? Someone's paying for Arsenal to play there.
To play there, and they've just gone.
And they've gone, who wants to come? And Everton have gone, me, sir.
We'll have a game.
And the people are like, have you ever been to Baltimore? I've never heard of it, sir. Oh, you'll love it. It's great. It's dead nice. Okay, we'll come. That's
Who? People who are going?
Yeah. Isn't it like an hour? Is it an hour?
We wouldn't be going, but people might go.
I want to go.
Well, you can go.
I want to go.
I'll be going.
I want to
You don't want to watch Everton when they're playing in a league game.
I want to watch Everton in Baltimore, though.
Why?
Imagine the only stress you've got of watching Everton is if you get murdered.
Whether you survive. Yeah, that's
I
all right.
think that's boss, though.
Yeah, you're matching your...
I think that's boss.
I'm your missus.
It doesn't matter, it's work. We
She knows where you're going.
Press box, baby.
If she knows where you're... Oh,
Baltimore.
Yeah.
What's a Amsterdam?
Yeah,
You only get that if you've watched it. You only get that if you've watched The Wire. You know what Amsterdam is. I can't ruin it for anyone.
Nice final refresh before we go. Everyone wants to go home and watch Real
Ned doesn't want to stay here.
When are you?
What's Naked and Afraid? Is it on the Discovery Channel?
It's so good. I love it.
Naked and Afraid, and I love it.
You get put in a forest naked with other people.
Sounds like a YouTube channel.
Survive for 28 days. It's really good.
28 days!
I think it's they've got not. Sometimes they make little laundry out leaves.
Little laundry out of Leeds.
I bet
And
you
then-
watch Naked Attraction as well, don't you, Paige?
I used to.
Oh, that's disgusting.
Generic.
There you go.
Yeah, bit generic. I've seen every kind of breast and penis.
Yeah.
Naked and Afraid is good.
It is mad, isn't it? How Channel 4 do scrape.
Oh, we are. There's a nice crossover for you, Ned. The guy in Jack Reacher was a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. He was Raphael.
There you go.
There you go.
He's the orange one.
He's your belt.
He's not. He's the red
He's
one.
your belter, mate.
Michelangelo's the
He is
orange one.
boss.
Donatello's the blue one.
Paul Butler says when are you having Gandalf on Blue Boys? I think he's amazing. He's gone to come on, doesn't he? The Pirate.
Yeah, the Pirates.
Gandalf, yeah.
Seen him outside
Good,
the
get him
canal
on.
on Sunday.
Got him on. He's done a good little poem as well, hasn't he? Like a ditty to get
ditty.
Evertonians going.
Dave Fitty.
A Dave Fitty. Talking of having people. A podcast, yeah, Big Dave. Daniel says, genuinely just tweeted Elon Musk to buy Everton for a laugh would be mental. Get him to turn Goodison into a gigantic mechanical crab and simply walk it over to Bramley Mall and sink it in the
thing about
sandpit.
Elon Musk, though, that a lot of people don't know, is that he doesn't like invent stuff. He's just really, really good at PR. And he's not also self-made either. His dad owned a diamond bleeding mine in South Africa.
As long as he comes...
No, I know, I'm just saying. He's not
what
like,
a challenge that
No, I
is.
know, but he doesn't invent things. He gets other people to invent them.
That's good.
He gets the money and says,
That's
you invent
good,
a giant
but
crab
there
that
you
can
go.
walk over to Bramley Moor, please,
do
mate.
Do it, but he's still part of it. His biggest challenge would be making Everton decent. Imagine.
Do you think that would be a harder challenge than getting to Mars?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Getting some Mars, just glue something together.
Do you think with the
Off you
money
go.
Everton have spent in the last 6 years, we could have gone to Mars instead?
No, because then the rockets he sent up wouldn't land it because there was seagulls. Oh, we'll just dump it. It was like 40 million. I'll just dump that 40 million in the water. Yeah, mate, 500 million
So
wouldn't
what
get
you're
you
saying
the
is,
left testicle
we could
of
have
a
had
rocket to
we
get
could
it
have had a certain number 10 and shot him into space. And if
then
it was
landed
Elon
them.
Musk, no one would have
No
said
one would
anything.
have said a word, mate. No one would have said a word.
I think for nearly...
We could have had Sangari like that.
What, onto Mars?
No, straight into our midfield.
But do you think he could have paid that money and used them to play football and sent them to the space station?
It should be.
Like
if you're rubbish, you're getting sent to Mars. And that's what might happen if Elon comes in.
I'm not being funny. Mason Holgate would be on Uranus by now.
Elbow says up the asthma blues. Absolutely. Get that sorted. Chris says, I genuinely saw... Look at my comment, Baz, and go, nah, I can't read that. It's been a couple, Chris. You are, not that I disagree with you. Down the bank says, I'm flying from Oregon to go and see my Blues in Baltimore. Grab myself some crab cakes. Damien says, I live in Miami and my missus lived up in DC. It's hotter up there in July than it is in Miami. For all you, why did that jump? For all, don't know why Everton don't play. We have Phil Neville there. Should absolutely.
Phil Neville said he wants a friendly as well.
Right. Josh says, my dad loves that Naked and Afraid. Shocking. Get the thumbs up going, boys. I'm enjoying myself, says Liam. Elon Musk is history's biggest con man.
He is.
It's all a big Ponzi scheme.
It is.
Says Andrew Cunningham. It's all right. But yeah. There you go. So listen, if you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now. Hit the like button. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? You're here anyway. So there you go. That's our latest Live at 5 club call. It was great. We had some great callers. If you want to come over to Peyton, we do this every day. The You can literally just scan the QR code that is on the screen
QR
now.
code.
Become part
on the screen
of our
right now.
community. Over there, we do this every day. We have a chat every day with people. So thank you very much, everyone who's joined us. And take it easy.
Why was
Deck on the dismissals at the golf?
No.
Who knows? There you go. Take it easy.
thought it
See
was
you
Baz.
later. Bye.